Long time no see.
Right?
The man, the legend, the man.
All
the
in one
legend.
place. There he is.
Good to
So
see
glad you could come.
Andrew, been a while.
They told me I could sit where I wanted to, and now you're telling me what to do.
Oh, jeez. Here we go. Here we go. It's been 30 seconds.
I know.
It's been 30 seconds.
I'll try to be good.
See?
See, the men together.
So I had to get out of there because these guys.
Oh, my God.
Quick question. When is the last time all of you all have been in a room like this together?
Never.
Never.
Never. Never.
Today.
Today is the first time.
Today's the first day.
Wow.
Okay, I'm James Jones. I became director of the Minority Fellowship Program in 1977. I'm a social psychologist. I taught at the University of Delaware during most of the time I was MFP director. I had both positions. And I retired from the University of Delaware in 2018, and I retired from MFP in 2005.
Hey, Dr. Jones, what would you say makes the MFP special for you?
I was on the faculty at Harvard in 1974 when MFP began. And my colleague and friend Dalmas Taylor was its director. I remember thinking, why would he want to go do that? Why would he want to go and run a program when we're scientists and we're out here changing the world through our research and through our writing? By 1977, I had left Harvard and was working in DC in a private consulting firm. I hated it. And Dallas had to go back to University of Maryland. So he and Chuck Kiesler, who was the CEO at the time, Chuck had been my academic advisor at Yale when I was in graduate school. So they approached me, we had lunch at the Mayflower, and they asked me to take over as director. So in 1977, I became director.
To give you some context, you have to remember that I am the only director who's also a recipient of the Minority Fellowship Program. I am Dr. Kim Nickerson. I actually joined the American Psychological Association's Minority Fellowship Program in, I believe, 1998. Currently, I'm an assistant dean for diversity, equity, and inclusion at the great University of Maryland, College Park. Throughout my career, the MFP has provided me with many opportunities, networking opportunities, exposure to high-level science, exposure to high-level scientists, the opportunities, and it has also erased some of the barriers as well. So when I was a graduate student, it erased the barrier of being overburdened by working at a grocery store or wherever to get some income. Instead, I had the fellowship, which freed me up to be the best clinical psychology student I could be. And I can just go point after point after point where my success has hinged on the opportunities that were afforded to me through the APA Minority Fellowship Program, but also how they sort of dissipated some of the barriers that might have stood in my way had I not been an MFP alumni. It's incredible. I wouldn't be where I am today without the APA Minority Fellowship Program, without a doubt.
My name is Andrew Daly. I was the director of the Minority Fellowship Program then became senior director of the Minority Fellowship Program. And I was employed by APA from 2002 until 2020. The word that comes to me is access. I think that's really the hallmark of MFP. So it's access for the people getting the fellowships. It's access to greater opportunities for them, access to networking that they never would have had, access to work in communities that they might not have been able to work in without the MFP. And even for the communities that they serve, it's giving them greater access to psychologists and other behavioral scientists and clinicians of color, and those that are also focused on working with communities of color. So all around, and even at the policy level, it's giving them access to how are these decisions being made at the federal level, and how can we influence those decisions that are being made. So I think that's, for me, that's really the foundation, which is access.
I'm Dr. Janice Haskins. I'm head of the Leadership Development Institute at the American Psychological Association, and my affiliation with MFP is that I am its most recent senior director. So a particular instance, actually, 2022, we're at the social hour. So there's all this activity, all this stuff is going on. There's all these people in this room. One of our fellows she came up to me, she shook my hand, Dr. Haskins, good to meet you, this has been really great. And then she said to me, as a child of who had been in foster care my entire life, I never thought I would find family. But MFP's my family now. And that hit me like a ton of bricks. So for me, the impact that we make, it's bigger than getting folks through courses. It's bigger than providing them greater training opportunities. For some people, we become their family unit. That's more important than anything else, because this person has found a home, they found a place of safety, they found a family that's not going anywhere. This MFP's gonna be here. That to me felt like we did what we were supposed to do. We helped to meet our purpose in making sure there's a safe space and an enduring space for someone who came to our program.
Belonging is so important for most people in every aspect of your life. You want to feel like you belong to your family, to your friend group, to your work environment. In your career, that can be quite difficult, especially if you are a minoritized person, one of the only people in your field, whether it be because of your race or your gender, your sexual orientation, ability status, or so forth. The field of psychology has been traditionally white, Western, male-dominated, heteronormative, and because of that, the field itself still struggles to bring in folks who might be like-minded as you are, committed to social justice as you are. And so as you start to navigate this field, you still might find yourself being the only Black or brown person in a space, or being the only one with progressive ideas, or being the only one who is committed to social justice. And so a group like MFP tells you that you're not alone. It tells you that there are not just people who are like you from your same generation, but that there have been generations of people before you who have been doing this work.
Perhaps the most important aspect of the 50-year milestone is the fact that, and this may sound corny, but it's been 50 years that this program has lasted and outlasted a lot of changes in American society. So if you think what this country looked like 50 years ago, we've gone through a number of different political changes. that in some ways we would have hoped that we were further along. In other ways, in other times, it would be amazing that we would actually last for 50 years. And I've always felt like our experience in American society goes back to the very beginning. And to make long-term systemic change, it's not going to happen overnight. It needs institutions that themselves are also long-term and long-term impactful.
Folks can definitely count on MFP being transparent in terms of their values, their mission, transparent of the different sort of activities. It's not just a fellowship where it provides support to students, but it's a fellowship that expresses what they want to say, in terms of their mission, but also puts it into action. So I think if folks are looking for a program to invest in, to partner with, you can expect transparency and also their commitment to serving folks of different diverse backgrounds, especially students of color.
I've always known that I'm very different. Even in the universities I've been in as a faculty member, as a graduate student, and going through my progression from an assistant professor all the way to a full professor and tenure. There are still not a lot of people that look like me. And so one of the missions that I've always had in my lab is to train more people that look like me. And more importantly, that's been the driving force of me continuing my association both with APA, MFP, and as well as other programs that I participate in to increase diversity in the neurosciences and in brain science in general.
As somebody who has done a lot of education and training at predominantly white institutions, I feel like professionalism is a thing that I sort of always have to do. And so at the MFP events, I can sort of turn that off a little bit and be my full self and be sort of loud or boisterous or silly and really that full self, and knowing that I can go to these events and that full self is accepted and sort of celebrated is really what keeps me coming back. That it's knowing that I can go and see some of my best friends who are part of the MFP and that we'll probably be able to reconnect over some great food. And there's often a dance or folks will go out and party sort of after APA. And so it's a really lovely community that not only supports me academically, but also as a full person.
I like to tell our fellows is we are always better together. A lot of the communities that our folks come from, they understand the strength of the village, and MFP's village gets to celebrate this together. The community has grown over time. So now it's not a singular, what I'll say, celebration. It is a celebration of all of these folks really working together to make the kind of impact that we know the country and the world need.
It really is about the support that people get when they become part of MFP. We call ourselves the MFP family. And it's the family is not just the fellows. There's great fellows, prestigious fellows, a whole network of over 2,000 fellows, and the networking among the fellows is tremendous. However, there are also training advisory committee members, there are advisors, there's the MFP staff, there are people beyond that who all come together to support these students and early career fellows.
When you think about the quality and impact of the research and the new discoveries that have been made because of the generosity of this program, freeing up people to be their best researcher self, or the number of lives that have been changed because of the clinical services people provided, and even innovative clinical models, that in and of itself, as a gift to this country, says that every penny that we as taxpayers put into the program for the success of this program has been paid back to the country in better research, more relevant research, better services, more relevant service, and even policy and administration has been paid back many times over.
The MFP was a product of its own vision as well as the vision of others. That origin that is now, 50 years later, we're able to celebrate. And I think, to me, the celebration is incredibly important because it says we have survived and thrived over unbelievably complicated and challenging and threatening circumstances and changes. The society is very different now in 2024. No other program has done all the things we've done for as long as we have done them, with the impact that we have had. MFP is the most successful training program ever, period. These people and the people who we've supported make that happen. There's an African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.